What's going on, guys? Today I've got another year-end video. Following up on the PlayStation wrap-up, I want to talk about my favorite games that I played in 2025, as well as my least favorites. Before we get into it, I should mention that not all of these games are games that released in 2025. In fact, there's a lot of great games from this year that I haven't played at all. Regardless, let's get into this list starting with a few honorable mentions. Now, I don't normally include honorable mentions when I write videos like this, but it felt necessary this year. The first game in this section is my favorite release of 2024, Astrobot. I bought this game right when it came out and loved every second of the journey. I've got the Platinum Trophy and kept up with the year-long DLC release from Team Asobi. I remember always being so excited when each set of DLC levels were announced, and personally looking forward to each and every Thursday. All of that DLC culminated in the second set of levels in the Vicious Void Galaxy, which also led us to finally getting more representation from Square Enix. Well, more than Gex anyway. Team Asobi brought us 21 extra levels starting a month after the game's release, and kept that going until about a year later. Each level was just as high quality as the main game, and also provided more of a challenge than really anything in the main game. I was just enamored with this game, and luckily I captured my moments of playing a lot of those levels. I do wish that I would have put out the vids I recorded for the first sets of DLC, but that's a story for another time. Either way, I knew I had to mention Astrobot here, but it just didn't feel quite right to be in the video proper. Up next for the honorable mentions is actually two games that both released this year. The reason they're here? Well, because I haven't finished them yet. I put a good few hours into both and have absolutely loved my time with them, but I can't say they're my fave games of the year when I haven't finished them. And those games are the newest SpongeBob Collectathon, Titans of the Tide, and the first game from Dontnod's Montreal studio, Lost Records Bloom and Rage. As some of you watching will know, I'm a huge fan of 3D platformers, so it should not be a surprise that I bought Titans of the Tide right away. On top of that, I grew up with SpongeBob, and there were so many moments that I think will permanently live rent-free in my head. While I haven't finished the game yet, it feels like a natural successor to Cosmic Shake, which also felt like a great successor to Battle for Bikini Bottom. Purple Lamp has been killing it recently, besides the multiplayer mode in Rehydrated, but we don't have to talk about that. They have their own trilogy of great SpongeBob games now, and there's a fair argument to be made that Titans of the Tide is the best SpongeBob game ever made. I'm personally not ready to say that, but we'll find out how I feel when I finish the game. Now with Lost Records, I was unbelievably excited when Dontnod revealed this at the Game Awards. Life is Strange is my favorite game and absolutely hit me in a way that nothing else ever has. The initial reveal of Lost Records definitely reminded me of LIS, and I patiently waited for Lost Records to come out. This game is not Life is Strange, and I think that's a good thing. Some of the DNA is still there, but Dontnod was not trying to make Life is Strange with this game. I loved exploring Velvet Cove and learning about the girls. As someone who was born a few years after 95, this game feels like a window into a world that is similar to what I knew growing up, but still completely different. There's so much that I love about this game, from recording on Swan's camcorder, to helping Nora and Autumn make their own music, and so much more. I will come back to this game, and I already know that I'll adore it from start to finish. Alright, I think it's time to actually get into it. After being so positive in the honorable mentions, let's kick this off with one of my least favorite games, and I'm gonna start with Jak 3. Now, I know, I like this game a lot, but when I finally finished it this year, I was left disappointed. I've attempted to finish this game so many times over the years, even getting halfway through on a couple of occasions. Unfortunately, Jak 3 is a tale of two halves for me. I loved the first half, but the second half was such a letdown. There were parts that frustrated me that weren't meant to be frustrating, and it just started to drag on by the time I took down Cyber Errol for good. Despite loving the Precursor Legacy and Jak 2 more than ever, it really was sad to be so let down by Jak 3, but it is still a good game. And on the flip side, the first of the best list is one of Jak and Daxter's contemporaries. It's Sly 3: Honor Among Thieves. This is a game that I've always liked, but replaying this game with this new trophy list just made me love the game even more. For the longest time, I considered Sly 2, like many others, to be the best this series has to offer, But something just changed when I played Sly 3 again. I don't even know if I can fully put it into words, but I truly believe that this was the perfect conclusion to the Sly series. The suicide of Rachel Foster is one of the worst games that I've ever played. It's not even for the game itself, but instead for the story. For those of you who don't know, this game is a walking sim that actually does try some cool things for the genre. The story is a mess that honestly feels like it was written by someone who just didn't understand Lolita. The big twist is truly f***ed up, and I'll leave it there. There are plenty of videos on this platform where people tear this game apart, so if you want more, check those out. What can I say about Yooka-Laylee besides it is clearly the original vision for Yooka-Laylee? I briefly started the original, but it just didn't click. I thought it might be because I don't have any sort of connection to Banjo-Kazooie, but really, Yooka-Laylee just feels very dated. It's like an N64 game without a lot of the charm. Playtonic fixed all of that with this awesome reimagining. It feels so good to play while now having some of that charm that Rare was known for back in the day. And I had a wonderful time every single time that I picked this game back up. The last of the worst in this video is one that some of you will say I brought on myself. And I can't argue that. That game is WWE 2K25. Growing up a wrestling fan, I gravitated towards the WWE games. Some of them are games that I still love to this day, and others I wonder why we ever liked them in the first place. Then there's the developer switch with 2K20. Visual Concepts wasn't ready to make a wrestling game by themselves, and it showed. The team stayed radio silent for the next year as we weren't given another game in our usual time slot. Instead, in January of 2022, they showed off the first screenshots and footage of WWE 2K22, which was set to release in March. It looked a lot better and less broken, and we quickly learned that they completely changed the gameplay as well. They moved away from the sim style we had from 2K15 to 2K20 and did something new, which wasn't a bad thing at all. After all, some of the best wrestling games ever made are more arcadey, and even for me, 2K22 was a fun game to play. I had a good time with it, but I also had a lot of issues with it. But I figured those issues would be ironed out in the next game, but unfortunately they were not. 2K23, 24, and 25 all have all of the same problems that I personally had with 2K22, which tells me that Visual Concepts don't view them as problems. Then add on the fact that most people that are still playing these games also don't talk about them either, and I feel like I'm all alone on a deserted island just shouting at the clouds. Well, I'm not even doing that anymore, because I just don't care anymore. Truth be told, I didn't even plan on getting 2K25, but for a brief period I got the itch to make wrestling content again. But the problem is that I can't make enjoyable content if I hate the way the game plays. So I made nothing on the game. And I will not get 2K26. I won't buy another game in this series that I love unless they actually change things up again. But let's not end this on a sour note. One of the biggest positive surprises for me this year was actually the Saints Row reboot. I heard so many bad things about this game. I expected a dumpster fire, but instead, I had a good time with it. It was a total surprise in the best way possible. I saw it discounted on the PlayStation Store and bought it because I wanted to play something different to what I normally play. I don't play a lot of open world games, so when I got it, I jumped right in. And as someone who has always had a hard time sticking with one game, I actually finished this game and earned its plat before moving on to the next. I liked the story, it felt pretty good to play, and I had basically zero bugs throughout the whole process. I even liked it enough to buy the DLC, which I don't do very often. I completely understand why people hated this game, but I liked it a lot. It's not my favorite game of the year, but it was a pleasant surprise. What game did you play this year? What did you like? And was there anything that you didn't like? Please let me know in the comment section down below. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, comment down below, share it up on social media, do all that good stuff, and until next time, I'll see you later. Bye guys.